For the longest time, I avoided making content, showing up to be seen and be heard, and subjected to criticism and hate and mean comments from strangers on the internet and people that I know and don't know. And I've realized a few things after a week of showing up here every single day. The people that are most offended by my message, especially around conservation and recreating responsibly, are usually the ones that actually need to hear it the most. People are just offended mostly by the things that they are doing wrong and you're calling them out on. Another thing I've noticed is that my biggest fans are either haters or strangers, and almost nobody that I know, none of my friends, are supportive at all. They watch every single thing I post. I can see them watch my stories, but they'll never double tap or comment or interact with my actual posts, and that's really interesting. So if you really want to know who your real friends are, the people that actually want to see you win, start a business, start posting content. You'll know really fast who's just there to watch you lose. And a lot of times it's because you're doing something that makes them feel uncomfortable about themselves, or you remind them of the dreams that they never went for or the things that they were too scared to even try. I had one lady yesterday call me an audacious wildflower gatekeeper, and I thought that was so funny because she had literally never posted anything. She's had her channel since 2013, didn't even have a profile picture. So I didn't take her words to heart. I kind of laughed about it because I was like, I'm out here actually like being courageous enough to try and make an impact, and all you can do is just hate on me for it. And I was like, she's probably the one that's picking the wildflowers and treading all over the tundra and leaving her trash out there and not picking up her dog poop bags and just being a nuisance. She is literally the people I am making this for. There will always be entitled a-holes and ignorant tourists and really Tourons trying to pet the moose and feed the fox and think that they're the exception to the rule and that the rules don't apply to them and fire bans are treading on their freedom. But you can call me a Karen, you can say I'm a gatekeeper, you can even tell me I'm a sensitive little snowflake. Whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better, it doesn't really affect me because I know that none of that's true, and my message is more important to me, which is why I'm building a whole brand about it. This is my property, Brecken Wild. My brand, Brecken Wild, is actually something I am doing to make a difference. And posting content is one very small piece and part of that. So if you are thinking about putting yourself out there, you absolutely should. And it's just a mindset reframe. It's like, yes, you are going to get hated on. Yes, you are going to get mean comments. People are going to judge you and they are going to say mean things. But it says more about how they feel about themselves than you. And just because they say something or make you feel something does not mean what you're doing is not important. I know that what I'm doing is important and impactful, and people need to hear my message. People need my story from my perspective, and I truly have a front row seat to watching our natural places and wild spaces get destroyed. I can walk in any direction and they are building houses right next to sensitive wetlands. There is trash all over the place. There is a fire pit here, and 10 feet over here there's another one. People just really either don't know, which I don't think ignorance is a good excuse for bad behavior. I think more likely people are lazy and entitled and just want to think that they are the exception. But guess what? You are not. I know that my message needs to get out there, and I'm going to do that through the internet. Whether I want to or not. That's what needs to be done here. If me using my own platform to promote things that I believe in offends you, that's pretty sad for you and says a lot more about you than me. Nothing that you can say is gonna hurt me or make me stop unless it's something I truly believe about myself, or you've hit a nerve on an insecurity that I already have. Your comments aren't going to faze me. But I'm also getting a lot of super positive comments and feedback and people thanking me for standing up and speaking out and showing up here to basically be the face and the voice of our wild places and our mountain lifestyle that is just getting trampled on and loved to death and sometimes even closed. Like this mountain directly over here, Quandary Mountain, is so overrun by people wanting to climb it because it's a 14er that you have to have reservations, have to take a shuttle from town because people were parked parking up and down the highways, and they were feeding the animals, and they were trashing it, and they were pooping all over the place. And people literally live there. I do not want to see my area get ruined like that too. So anytime I see somebody geotagging a sensitive location, it really irks me, because it's going to be the next quandary, the next hanging lake, the next Brainerd Lake, the next conundrum. I could go on and on and on about all of these amazing, beautiful spaces that I used to visit and recreate in that are now ruined, regulated, or closed. But in the 1 week that I've been consistently showing up and posting, these are my 5 biggest takeaways. Number 1, people love placing blame on things that really should be their own personal responsibility. It's easy to blame the government or social media or other people for your dumbass choices. How you do anything is how you do everything. So if you expect other people to do right by you, start by being a good person. Number 2, people that criticize you are usually the ones who aren't even trying, and they're not doing anything to better themselves or go for their dreams. So don't listen to them, because their comments say way more about them than you. Number 3, those who complain about the rules are usually the ones breaking them and the reason those rules exist. Number 4, most people are inherently good and supportive. Sometimes they're just quiet, but the loud ones are the ones that really hate themselves, they hate their life, and they're trying to take it out on you and bring you down because you're doing something better than they've ever tried, and it makes them feel inferior about themselves. And number 5, content is super fun if you let it be. If you have something to say and you are in it for the right reasons and you actually care about the process and not the outcome. I'm not doing this to go viral or to become an influencer. In fact, if my messages are landing, I'm never even gonna know that they worked, because if my message about wildfire safety prevents a wildfire, there's not gonna be a fire. We will never even know. If my message about respecting the wildlife and not petting the moose or not petting the fox or locking up your trash saves the life of a bear or a fox or a moose, we're never going to even know, because they're not gonna be euthanized or relocated. And if my message about picking the wildflowers, which by the way offended a lot of people, I had got called Karen by a lot of people out there, which was hilarious all on its own. But if my message of protecting the wild and respecting the nature by doing little things like not picking the wildflowers reaches people who stop picking wildflowers, we're never going to know that the message worked. So I'm going to keep showing up here because I fully believe in what I'm doing. I was born and raised in these mountains. I live literally in nature, and I have a front row seat to how this sensitive and fragile ecosystem is getting really destroyed on every level by disrespectful humans doing disrespectful things. So thank you for being here. If you follow my channel, it's because you love the mountains, you care about nature, and if you want to support my business, my store is up and running. I have a protect and preserve line. It's all about leave no trace, recreating responsibly, and doing your part to protect our wild spaces and natural places. And then I have a mountainscape collection, which is art inspired by my actual murals that I've painted for businesses and homeowners around the county. And these are blankets, towels, and other wearable art and apparel. So it's pretty cool. Thank you again for all your support on this channel and for shopping with Brecken Wild, and I'll see you tomorrow.